Hello everybody and welcome back to the West Coast. Right, so obviously the previous episode didn't go down too well with, I would say, 2/3 of my viewers. So to keep most of you happy, what we're going to do is in fact replace the drill which we did buy, and of course get something which is a bit more sensible for the area. Now that isn't the only reason why I've decided to get rid of it. Basically there were two reasons. Honestly, one of them was your comments, which is fair enough. Obviously if most people are going to say something, then it's worth acting on. It just does mean now that we're going to be spending more time drilling. Obviously I explained this before, the primary reason for me getting the big drill was just to make the videos more enjoyable long term, but if you want to see more drilling, that's absolutely fine. I'm guessing everybody does, since there was quite a fuss kicked up. But the second reason was also the money as well. I didn't fully appreciate exactly what we needed to buy, which I don't tend to do. So after having a proper think about it, it turns out that we do need to repay the loan as a matter of urgency. So I think when that is done, we're not going to have a great deal of money left, because we also need to buy a self-propelled sprayer as well. So yes, money is still going to be pretty tight. Anyway, thankfully, and this isn't anything I've done, the shop actually allowed the return of the drill for exactly the same price as what we paid for it. That is nothing to do with me. I've not edited anything in the XML files. That is how Farming Simulator was. So I think that is really good. It actually knew that we had never used it before. So I think the Lemkin was actually the most popular demand in the comments section. So that is going to be what we go for. It is smaller. It's also much cheaper. This is the one we had, the Terminator TH18. So although it is smaller, it is still pretty big. Probably a bit overkill, really, having this tractor with that drill. But not to worry, it means we can get a big cultivator instead. Now, the big cultivator is not something I'm going to focus on to begin with, because first of all, as I say, repaying this loan is very important. We may have to just go on to the info page. So yeah, repay. We have currently 140,000. I think we started off with 75. So if we can go back to that, at least, that would be ideal. So we're now sat at 245,618. We can repay a bit more. It would be nice to just eliminate it completely, as there is interest on all of it. So yeah, there we go. We have repaid everything. So we're left with £170,000. As I mentioned before, my goal is never to go below 150,000 to avoid going into debt. So really, we shouldn't be buying anything else now. A self-propelled sprayer would be fantastic, but it looks like it's going to have to wait for a little bit. But it really shouldn't be too long until we can get one, because we've still got a few crops in storage, the barley to be precise. So when that is sold, obviously that's going to give us a bit more money as well. And the wool, we do have quite a bit of wool stacking up over at the other farm. So yeah, it shouldn't be too long at all. Now the voucher tractor is going to be replaced, so I'm hoping to do like a straight swap, so it actually won't really cost us anything at all. Looks like we'll get about just short of 90,000 for that, so I don't know. I'm looking at getting a used tractor, something like one of these, but nothing too small. It has to be a very similar horsepower. It probably won't be any of these. I'll probably have to download another mod, but yeah, that is something again for the future. So there we go, the Lemkin Solitaire 12. Hopefully you all appreciate the decision of reverting on the previous idea of going for this super big thing. I think, let me just turn them off, the biggest problem really was that you don't see that drill ever in the UK, and a few people were just a bit upset that it was just not really in keeping with the idea of this this Let's Play, this style of map. So I do agree. It's just, well, I've already explained the reason why I got it, so forget it, it's done now, it's sorted. So it is -4 degrees, not exactly pleasant weather. Also we've got the withering icon up, so any crops from last year or this year which haven't been harvested, luckily there aren't any at all, they would now be withering. So anything I've missed in the fields, they'll have withered as well. but it's not really any concern of ours because we did indeed harvest everything, which is fantastic news. I think it would be yeah, not a very good show if we had not harvested one of our fields, as we only own about 3 or 4. So yeah, we did well, very well, he says sarcastically. Anyway, yep, this can go into the yard here. We're definitely keeping it, no way are we changing it now. So please, nobody comment down below and say, oh, I really want the drill back, because it's not going to happen. Now, yeah, finding the space for it actually is the most challenging thing. I suppose what we could do is put it into one of the grain stores, because they're pretty much empty. If it fits in here though, it can stay put. Really looking forward to the spring. I really want to use the new forager. The new old forager. New to us. Let's drop it off there. And yeah, we're going to be buying other equipment for this Challenger. It's not going to be just that drill. In the future, if we can get something fairly decently sized up here as well, that is a subsoiler, as we discovered on Upton Farm. This one here though, something like this I'd have thought. I don't know exactly what kind of machine we're looking for exactly, but basically anything big but still in keeping with the map. So this thing here, it probably actually would fit on a UK road, but still it is gigantic and a very high horsepower requirement. So these really should be just left with the big buds over in America. So yeah, we'll be sticking with a maximum of 14.5 meters. That's 12 meters. So yeah, one of those two we will be buying at some point in the future. They're not that expensive, but we can't afford them just yet. So yes, at least we've got one thing cleared up, and we own a new Challenger. Thinking about it, actually, we do own a lot of new machinery, so we could even get rid of the Valtra and not even replace it, because we actually do have enough machinery, I would have thought. Because originally the John Deere was the tractor we would have used for everything. That was our high horsepower tractor. Obviously now the Challenger is now, so the John Deere is now sort of downgraded to an everyday tractor, which is what the Valtra was before. And we have the New Holland for the livestock yard, so yeah, that actually would make sense to get rid of the Valtra and just keep the money from it. Put it into a self-propelled sprayer or something. And yes, we have the 885, what's the best way of pronouncing that? 885, 885, I don't know. Everybody has a different way of saying stuff. I think I'd probably call it the 885. That probably sounds best. But yeah, personal preference as usual. Now, like I've said before, it's the winter, so there's nothing really in particular that we need to do. One thing which did cross my mind was a bit of firewood. We could get some firewood, with it being a lovely day. It can be beautifully clear sunshine all day, and we could just go over to the sell point and get a bit of money for it. We would use a transit van for that and a chainsaw. Very easy work, but very simple. There should be a combine harvester over here. There it is. It needs to be cleared up. So you can see this is a piece of crop which we missed. It's now withered, as it should do. But what we really must avoid in the future is planting a field, spending all the money on the fertiliser and the seed, and then not getting round to harvest it in the autumn or in the summer, because that would be extremely costly. Also, we'd have to plough it in again, so it would just be terrible in every possible way. It's worth staying tuned into my channel in the next few days, because we've got the 300k special coming up. I call it the special. It isn't that special. Maybe I'm just making it sound worse than it is. But yeah, it's nothing that new. As explained in yesterday's video, as it finally was released, the thing was, really, all I can do without the giveaway is lots of different games. So that's what we're going to be doing. Come on, detach. Has to work from in cab view. Yeah, lots of different games sort of into one video, hopefully around an hour long. So for those who like that kind of thing, perfect. But if you're looking for a giveaway, stay tuned for the Halloween special. I don't know how Halloweeny it'll be, but I'm hoping it's going to be vaguely Halloweeny. There's nothing you can really do in Farming Simulator that sort of fits in with a Halloween style. It would be nice if you could plant pumpkins, grow pumpkins. That would be very impressive to see. Maybe that's an idea for a modder. Create a Halloween sort of themed map and have a pumpkin patch, a very large pumpkin patch, but allow us to, yeah, grow them and then sell them over at a, I don't know, a supermarket or something, a local stall, to all the zombies on the streets. Actually, yeah, I think that was something from last year. Giants made all the pedestrians on the streets in Gold Coast Valley like zombies. I never really looked at that properly. I should have done. Maybe they'll do the same thing this year. Be very interesting to see. Now, I think possibly, if, as long as this thing fits, which it might not do, we're going to put the Common Harvester into the workshop, as it does need to have a bit of work before the next cutting season. There we go. The header doesn't really need to stay in there with it, so if we can put it in on one side, I've got the drill in here, if it will fit in there, we might have to just shuffle that over a bit, then it can be serviced. Yeah, I'll just move it out of the way. It's definitely easier from in-cab view not to crash into stuff. Right, so the drill is going to be staying in here, but just much further over. There is a welder somewhere behind us, so we mustn't hit that. Make sure I didn't crash into it. Oh wow, that is close. I almost ran over the impact wrench as well. It's actually almost a year since Farming Simulator 17 was released. The time has flown. Which means also it could be 1 year until FS19. That's an interesting thought, really. We're halfway through. At least we could be. I have no idea what the plans are from Giants, but certainly for every single version there's been a 2-year gap between, so it would make perfect sense. It's usually like October half term when they release the game, because they know lots of people are going to be off school, some people are going to be off work, so it does make perfect sense. That's the way it's always been. I can remember when I was at school, I think it must have been FS11. Yeah, the last version when I was at school was FS11, and it was half term, and I spent loads of half term playing FS11 because it had just been released, and I didn't want to go back to school after that. Thankfully, that was the last version I had to go to school, and yeah, lots more time to play the game, despite working, you know, for a job instead of going to school. But yeah, still more time than there used to be. So, I think, yeah, let's just go to the... Oh, the transit van isn't here. That's a shame. We're going to have to walk. Here we are. So it wasn't exactly close. It's over at the BGA. Anyway, the summary of the winter's weather for this game is snow tomorrow, sunshine on Monday, rain, snow and cloud. Cloud being the first day of spring. So it could be worse, it could be snow every single day, but we're going to have to do some snow clearance at least. Tomorrow we'll do it because then it's going to be sunny the day after. And, well, the snow on Wednesday should melt fairly quickly on the Thursday. But I suppose having it tidy up will not be a bad idea. Now, before we do go anywhere too far, I just want to check on the sheep. I know we can just open up the menu and take a look, but yeah, you wouldn't usually just open up your phone in real life and see how your sheep are doing. Unless they're robotic sheep. We should really check properly. Right, so that hasn't really filled up much at all, which is a bit of a shame. Their trough is full of feed and they do have some water. We can now confirm it since we've looked. Yep, they're very good. So there should be no reason for us to really do anything here. We're going to be buying some more sheep. Now, we're going to have to just get a bit more money first. Because, yeah, the rule of not going under 150 thousand is very important, and with there being maintenance fees and stuff during the day, which is taken from us at night, that could very easily happen. So we really must stay very wise and don't spend too much money. So with that done and making sure that the sheep are all happy, which they are, we can now move on to the forest and try and fill up this van with wood. I've done this once before and it actually worked very well. It's like a JCB coloured van. Maybe it is, maybe it's ex-JCB, the service vans. So with the trees being deciduous, it does make it quite difficult to see where the forests are, because they're really thin, whereas they'd be very dense in the spring and the summertime. But I would say the one between Hill Ridge Farm and Mountain View Farm is going to be the best for us. But before I do anything about that, we should probably check where the timber... Down at the bottom, where it says Frontier Design, it says Field 55, Field 56, and then just below there it says Quality Timber. That is where we have to sell the wood. So I suppose we are in a transit van, so it wouldn't actually take us too long to get from one place to another. But we don't want to be hauling wood forever. I think if it was a tractor and trailer, we'd go for a forest nearby, but it looks to be the biggest one nearest to our main yard. So that's where we're going to go to. It's attached to field number 10 actually, which is right at the bottom of our yard over at Hill Ridge Farm. I must go very slowly through here. Well, up to 30 miles per hour to be precise. And now even though it's the winter, it actually doesn't make the map look any less pretty, because in real life the winter does look dull. But no, it actually makes this map look no worse, which is astonishing. That is definitely a compliment to the creator. So yeah, field 10. If we turn, we can see the forest in front of us. I don't know the best way of getting there. I suppose there is a way on the road. I'll go up here. That may be a different forest. We don't want to be cutting down anybody else's trees, because yeah, that's not going to go down too well. We want to stick to our own land and make sure everybody is happy. There is our crop, growing quite nicely. Yeah, how would you get in here? How would you get to the forest? I've never been properly anyway. I don't know. We may have to cut across field number 11. Or we may be able to drive up here. I think, yeah, if we go around here, it isn't technically our land, but there's no real access to this forest otherwise. We're going to say that we do own the forest, otherwise it would be pointless because you can't actually buy them. You can only buy the fields. So yeah, sorry whoever you are, neighbouring farmer. We're going to drive on your land. Perfect. It brings us right to the place. So if we just open the back doors up and reverse into there. Oh, that's the side door. Whoa! It flies open. Blimey. I probably shouldn't have moved my mouse so erratically. You can do it slowly. It's not just like a jack in the box. So now the trees don't want to be felled in this direction. Otherwise we're going to have a bit of a crushed van. So we're going to, they're very small actually, we're going to try and fell them to the left hand side, or into the forest that way. So I'll just get my chainsaw out. Here we go. I'll fell it across there. We're not going to get too much out of this, but obviously it's just a bit of extra income for the winter time. There's nothing we can really do. We can sell firewood to the locals. They should appreciate it. Now time will actually be flying pretty fast in these episodes. We'll likely be taking 2 days per episode as mentioned before, because otherwise we're going to have 6 episodes of wintertime, and that is 6 episodes of either doing this or snow clearance, and we're not going to be really having much diversity. So Wow, it went in. Yeah, I think there'll be about 3 episodes in the winter time. Some days will be missed completely. For example, the day which is going to be raining, that'll just be skipped. Obviously I'll be here tending to the sheep, but you won't have to see anything, because that'll be a very dull and miserable day. There'll be nothing really to see or do. Yeah, we should get quite a few logs in here actually. I think the difference is, when I was doing this before, it was over on, I think it was the Irish map, and there were some very big trees, so it was really hard to get much in there. But this seems much easier somehow. Get that out of the way. Come on, move. You can also strap them in. If I can stack them neatly though. Oh no, I'm stuck. I am stuck on a log. There. If I stack them neatly, we should get quite a few trees in here. Right. Next. Timber! Take the foliage off, we don't really want to be carrying the foliage about. Wow, that's a big tree. And I'm going to cut it up off screen and we'll load it up in a second. Okay. So I think that is going to be the best length for each one. They don't want to be so long they stick out the back, because then we're going to be losing our load and we'll probably be fined for an insecure load. But they also don't want to be too short, because it would take forever to load up. So that sort of length for the fat ones, because they're pretty heavy. And they do take up quite a large amount of space. And then the shorter ones can be a bit, well, the thinner ones can be a bit longer. It's going dark already. They are going to have to be strapped in, because otherwise if we have to brake suddenly... Ah, my broomstick. This happens every time I do logging. Ow! Clip my ear. Every time I try and do a realistic video, I start flying around on the broomstick. I wonder if the next version of Farming Simulator will do that, or if these sort of fun glitches will be sorted out. I'm not too sure. You couldn't really call it a glitch though, it's just a bit weird. It's like, it's supposed to happen because you're supposed to carry logs about, but it sort of gets confused, and yeah, you start walking on the log, meaning it flies. Okay, yeah, that's a glitch. That is definitely a glitch. You could never say that is supposed to happen. Thing is though, how are you supposed to fix it? I mean, it's all well and good saying I hope they fix it, but what can you do to make it not do it anymore? I suppose maybe you have to stand a bit further away from the log before you pick it up. Not sure. Anyway, I'll leave Giants to deal with that, because they're obviously experts. So yeah, leave it with the people who know what they're doing. Any more trees? These trees can't be felled, I don't think. A few silver birch in here. Silver birch. Yeah, there's some pine trees back here. It's very dense though, so we can't really get in with the van. I'll tell you what, I'll try and find another tree, I'll cut it up, and we can load it in a second. Aha! This will do. I'll chop it up in a second then, and that will likely fill the van completely. Shame we have to walk so far. It's a very long way through the branches, the very low undergrowth, to put each one in the van. I suppose this is when you need an ATV or something to go off-roading. Okay, I have managed to get the van in here. It was a real squeeze, and also there were some nasty scraping sounds on the top, so I'm hoping there's no real damage. It is quite an old van, so we don't need to worry too much. But yeah, we shouldn't still damage it just for the sake of getting in here. Now it looks like not all of this is going to fit in. It's times like this you feel like you need a trailer. So yeah, that's what we need for next time. We need an ATV with a trailer. Look at that, it's not even going to go in. We have superhuman strength, we can pick up the van. It does seem to be the case actually. Along with being able to fly on each log, you do become very strong. Like you can pick the van up. when you do this. Right, so that is obviously struggling to fit it all in. They're in. That's too heavy. This one here. We'll attempt it. We may have to cut it up a bit first. Oh, crikey, it's on the roof. Dented it. Oh, just after mentioning not damaging the van. That is so typical. Come on, in. Get in the van. Get in. Okay, so it did manage to get in there, but there is no chance of getting this really big log into here. It's also very dark as well now. It's yeah, it goes dark about 4 or something. Get in, get in. Oh, so close. You can actually press L or R to strap everything. R if you're outside and L if you're inside the van itself. So if I do that there, it is strapped, but will the door shut? Ooh, very close. Actually, no, it doesn't, but it will do. So the load is secure. Now I need to get out of here, which is easier said than done. I have made my way to a clearing. This is very spooky. It is dark and cold, and I am lost. All I can see is trees and branches everywhere. How do we possibly get out of this place? Looks like I came in through here. All this for a bit of timber. I can't believe what I put myself through. I can see the transmitter lights through there. And maybe hear some time. It's actually surprisingly scary in here. I can't find my way out at all, and it's just painful being in here. Oh, no joke, this has taken me forever to get out of here, and I think we've just found the exit. Look at the time, it's 7:45. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't be doing that again. It's now -2 degrees. Right, final destination, the timber sell point. I can't believe what I go through. Right, well, it's definitely this way. Sort of panicking and rushing now to go and sell everything. They're going to be shut, actually. We started this in the morning. Was it the morning when we turned up here? Maybe mid-afternoon. But either way, to get a bit of firewood, we have gone to some extreme lengths. At least I've made it look like that. Yes. Now, the timber point, we're going to have to use the map for. It is quite a long way from here, actually. I suppose if we go right out of here and just keep going, eventually we'll find the correct road. I hope. Well, I'll see you soon. One thing I've really noticed is the stability of the vehicle is dramatically compromised when you've got so many heavy logs in the back. Now, we're on a dual carriageway, and I'm not too sure where we need to come off. There is a turning left here, so we'll have to take it. I suppose we go over the bridge to get to the quality timber, I would have thought. Let me just see. Yeah, so basically if we go straight on here, it should be on the right hand side. In fact, I think we can see the sign. In my rearview mirror there is a log, or several logs, sitting comfortably behind us. That's going to be short-lived. Let's go and sell them, finally. Now, where is the sell point for whole logs? Wood and timber. There we go. Fantastic. Well, the money we got for that was minimal, and I would definitely say not worth the time, but it was something different to do, and actually we've made more money than we would have done today, since there is not a lot that we could have done. Anyway, that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and it looks like tomorrow it's going to be snowing, so I'll see you then if we're not snowed in. Bye for now.